This content is the creative work of Channels Without Borders, all rights reserved 2025. Visit channelswithoutborders.com. Feel free to share this with friends. More information and links are in the description.
Oh, good now. Perhaps the closest we could come to making a statement about that is simply to say to wake up to the truth of yourself. If there is any other reason for you to be here, you won't have a clue what it is if you're asleep. I can tell you what it's not. It's not to save others. It's not to save the world. First of all, you wouldn't have a clue about how to go about doing either one of those. And secondly, what needs saving? Everything is divinely in place. It is not the view that needs to change, it is the viewer. If you are in the experience of playing with a body, the answer is you can't. In duality, there will always be ups and downs. The difference of the awakened state over the unawakened state is that, so what? It doesn't matter. There's only up if you're looking somewhere else where you thought you were down. And there's only down if you're looking somewhere else where you thought you were up. But you are just where you are right now. Anything else is the mind coming in, creating confusion and insanity. Now, that might be experienced as peace, that it doesn't matter whether things work out the way that you would like them to or not. You're fine either way. That might be. But it's not the picture that most people hold, especially people on a spiritual path, of what being enlightened or awakened is. Then it's like you're Mr. Mojo Man. You can do anything, or woman. You can do anything that you want. You'll always succeed. Everything will happen as you want. But it's nothing like that. It's about letting go of all those expectations. Letting go of the belief that you can control, that there's anything wrong with the way things are right now. That it's not exactly divinely inspired as it should be. We could go quite a while on this one, but I'm going to stop for now. Suffering is when you do not accept what is and you want it to be something else. Every time you set a goal, you're saying it's not good enough as it is now. I want it to be something else. Then if you don't reach the goal, you suffer. If you say, I don't like it the way it is now, I want it different, you're suffering. That's all suffering is. If it's fine the way it is, there's no suffering. Life is so ironic in duality because everything has its opposite. If you try to change yourself to be someone who accepts what is, you will fail because you're not accepting yourself as someone who's not accepting what is. That's a little bit of a mind bender there. So at the same time that you have the intention to let the mind go and to accept things as they are, you have to accept yourself still not being there and let that be okay. I found myself wanting to change something today. I found myself, that's fine. That's what is right now. So you accept that. So you constantly accept what is. If you see yourself judging yourself, oh, I was out there trying to change the world again, not accepting what is. Well, now you're trying to change yourself into someone who isn't that way, but you are that way. So you accept that about yourself. You notice it, and then you let it go. You don't follow that track anymore. And you say, okay, now what's here now? You keep coming back to the present and letting the mind go. You notice wherever you have a thought of not enough and not worthy, and you stop giving it energy. You don't hold those thoughts anymore. When you notice them, you stop following them. If you feel an emotional response in your body to those thoughts, you pay attention to it and you just stay with it and let it express without trying to control or change anything, just accepting what you're feeling, not even trying to describe it, not trying to understand it or defend it, but just to experience it. So you stop trying to change anything. You let go of every mind, idea, thought about changing. And instead, you look and see what's here now and accept it. If you fully do that, all you will see is divinity, where there couldn't be a question of unworthiness or lack. We're not saying that's an easy hop, step, and jump to achieve. But you have to start, by stopping your mind. If you assume that every thought you have is a lie, you're off to a good start. Why would you pay attention to and follow a lie? If you're not sure it's a lie, then really look at it. Look at that thought until you're absolutely convinced that it's true or not true. And take no action until one or the other happens. Well, first of all, whether people have money or don't have money, or abundance, has to do with their consciousness. Maybe a person was raised in a consciousness of deservedness, wealth, and money, like the wealthy families have. There is no question in the child's mind but that they will have wealth all their life. On the other hand, someone who is taught by the mass consciousness that there's not enough will likely believe that they will struggle all their life. But let's get beyond money, hopefully. Because someone is raised in money and has money does not mean that they're happy, that they're at peace, that they feel a sense of knowing the truth about themselves. So the question could be, why are some people, a few awake, but most people asleep? And probably those with money are just as likely to be asleep as those without money. Most people live with the teachings of the mass consciousness. That is, what they learn from their parents, what they learn from their schools, from their churches, from their governments, from their media, from their friends, and so on. None of it has anything to do with truth. The only way to find truth is within yourself. The only way to find truth is to basically assume that every thought you have comes from somewhere else and not from your own divine self, and to doubt it and suspect it's a lie. And to search for the truth. What am I absolutely certain of? And by being loving and compassionate with yourself. You do to everyone else as you do to yourself. So you cannot be compassionate with another if you're not compassionate with yourself. If you judge yourself, you'll judge others. That is why I said early on, one person totally waking up, which means they're free of judgment, free of past and future, accepting fully with love what is here right now. One person like that infects the whole world. We use infect in a loving way. However, one person in judgment does what everyone is doing now. Why is there war in the world? Because people judge themselves and each other. So the compassion starts at home. If you have one guilty thought, that's your job, to notice that, to give up your guilt about your guilt, to not follow it, to let it be, to accept yourself as you are, until you see all of yourself, which is absolutely divine and innocent. There is nothing to forgive. If you think there is something to forgive, you will never succeed at forgiving, because you think you or someone else has done something wrong, and you have a judgment there. As long as that judgment is there, you can't forgive. You can put the words out there. You can say, oh, I forgive you because I'm so spiritually enlightened and above you. I can forgive you for what you've done. And I hope you can see the trap in that, in the humor. If there were any forgiveness to be done, it would be God's forgiveness, and God judges nothing. So rather than focus on forgiveness, focus on letting go of judgment, noticing when those thoughts are there. Every time you judge yourself or you judge another, notice it. Ah, there I am having a judging thought. Let it go. Come back to the now. Be present. So again, it's noticing and not following.
This content is the creative work of Channels Without Borders. All rights reserved 2025. Visit channelswithoutborders.com. Feel free to share this with friends. More information and links are in the description.